Hey, greetings, everyone. Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, Senior Fellow at the Media Research Center. We're about to go into that very special week in the month of May that leads up to Memorial Day. Now, some people remember Memorial Day as the opening of the swimming pools and the beginning of summer, the end of school. But I think that this Memorial Day is going to be a little bit different because we're dealing with this COVID-19 crisis, this issue. But still, I think that this is an important time for us to remember those who were willing to make the last full measure of devotion, the ultimate sacrifice for our rights, freedoms, and liberties, for this incredible country in which we live in called the United States of America. And so I wanted to talk to you all about what shall we be remembered for? When I look at this point in time in our history, when I think about those men and women, what they sacrifice, men like my dad and some of you all, your fathers and grandfathers, what did they really sacrifice for? See, when I think about sacrifice and I think about Memorial Day, I think about those men and women who were willing to make a stand for something that was greater than themselves, make a stand for this incredible thing that we call liberty, we call freedom, we call individual rights. And I have a few instances in history that I remember. The first one I have to go back, and I know they're not Americans, but the stand of the Spartans at the Battle of Thermopylae in 490 BC. Even though they knew they were going to be encircled, and they knew that they were going to be slaughtered to the man by Xerxes and the Persians, Leonidas chose one Spartan warrior, and he asked them to take this message back to the city-state of Sparta. And it said, "Go tell the Spartans and strangers passing by that here, obedient to their laws, we lie." We remember them for that stand that they made. Another great stand in American history happened for 13 days in 1836. 185 men were led by a 26-year-old. That's a heck of a millennial. His name was William Barrett Travis. And if you have not ever read Travis's letter, you should read it. He talked about never surrendering, never retreating. He talked about his honor, dying like a soldier in the honor of his nation. And he closed that letter by saying victory or death. That letter was delivered to Sam Houston. And today we remember the Alamo, just the same as they remembered the Alamo when they won the victory at San Jacinto and the independence of the state of Texas. See, I also think about my favorite military figure, Colonel Joshua Lawrence Chamberlain, the hero of Little Round Top, a simple professor of rhetoric from Bowdoin College, Maine. But he joined the Union Army because he wanted to fight for freedom for others. And because of his education, he was put in charge of an entire regiment. And on that second day, that hot July day on Little Round Top, Cemetery Ridge, Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, he could not surrender. He could not retreat, for he was the end of the line for the Army of the Potomac, 90,000 strong. If he did, that entire army would be encircled, and the Civil War would have taken a different course. Casualties mounted, ammunition ran out. Joshua Lawrence Chambers said, bayonets. Those are just a few examples that we know through our history, that we remember, of men, of courage, of honor, of character. So how would they look at us in the future when we come through this COVID-19 issue? Shall we be remembered as the people that locked up our churches, even on Easter Sunday? But we opened the doors to liquor stores, marijuana stores, and even Walmart. Shall we be remembered as the people who surrendered our essential liberty because we were seeking temporary safety? But in the end, we come to realize that we may lose our liberty and our safety also. We should not have illegal martial law and house arrest in the United States of America. We should not have people telling us that we don't have our right to peaceably assemble, our right of free speech, free expression, or even the right to petition our government for redress of grievances. The greatest grievance being the usurpation of our rights and freedoms and liberties. Shall we be remembered as the people who forgot that America is a constitutional republic? And as a constitutional republic, the rule of law is preeminent, and the individual is sovereign over the institution of government, which means that no one person can come with an order, an edict, a mandate, or a decree that tells you must do something. That laws are made through a legislative body of our duly elected representatives. Shall we be the people that forgot all about what happened on April the 19th of 1775 at Lexington Green and at Concord Bridge? Because those patriots came out and they fired the shot that was heard around the world because they understood that if they were armed, they were citizens. If they were unarmed, they were subjects. But yet now, here in the United States of America, we have people that are actively seeking to undermine one of our most important constitutional rights. What will we be remembered for? Romans chapter 5, 3-5 talks about trials and tribulation, how it produces perseverance, and perseverance produces character, and character produces hope. Our hope does not come from Capitol Hill, Washington, D.C. The hope of every American burns within every American. They say that America is the land of the free and the home of the brave. If we refuse to be brave, then we will not be the land of the free. And what shall our children and grandchildren remember of us in this moment? That we did not find that courage, that we lost our ability to be brave, that we allowed ourselves to lose the greatest gift that the world has ever known, the United States of America. How shall we be remembered? I pray that we will be remembered as strong, resolute, and resilient, that we shall be remembered as Americans. So in this week leading up to Memorial Day, remember those who allow you to be here in this great nation, but then set forth to establish your memories that others can celebrate long after you're gone. I hope that we will all be remembered as a great generation.